what he should do. And I remember thinking it was a really sad day when the world's richest country could only offer 2 opportunities for a friend of ours that wanted to go to college. And that was minimum wage or 90 grand in a war zone. And the cynical independent side of me got even more cynical, and I looked at the way that politics has been operating and realized that we've had 2 families controlling the White House for the last 20 years. And I think they've had some great ideas. They've been Democrats and Republicans, and unfortunately they haven't been able to get very much done. If they had, then my buddy wouldn't have to make this decision on how to pay for college. Now this was in 2004, so probably about 3 or 4 weeks after this phone call, I was watching TV and I had the Democratic National Convention on, and I sort of heard, I wasn't paying full attention to it, but I heard some guy say, especially after 9/11, we shouldn't be divided between blue states and red states, we should focus on being the United States. And my ears kind of perked up, and I said, who is this guy with the big ears and the funny name? And it was Senator Obama delivering the keynote at the 2004 Democratic National Convention. By the end of his speech, I was completely enthralled, and I thought to myself, this guy needs to run for president.
What we need as a commander-in-chief is somebody who can lead us strongly and bravely, and without compromise. We haven't had that in forever.
Did you mean specifically militarily as well? Was that?
Yeah.
So there's a guy who our president hasn't mentioned in a while. His name is Osama bin Laden.
Bin Laden!
And
the guy with the beard, right?
Yes. So one of the things that's a pinnacle point of Senator Obama's foreign policy is the fact that unfortunately, because we've left Afghanistan, it's no longer been the focus to eradicate terrorism there, and we've gotten into this mess in Iraq. Al-Qaeda has had the chance to actually grow. Whether it's parts of northwest Pakistan or whether it's in Afghanistan itself, there needs to be a shift and a refocus. Part of it is diplomatic, certainly. Like you were saying, he does want to stand up in front of the UN and say that America is back. But if you look at the fact that he was the only one to have the foreign policy insight, way back in, I think it was 2003, 2004, whenever the Iraq War was starting up, to have that foreign policy insight and to know what we know now, that's to me reason enough, but then certainly the list goes on.
The question was, do we think that Barack Obama's lack of experience will affect older voters? Me personally, I don't really know what the experience of the people who have been there have done us good so far. But the answer that, I'm gonna actually let you answer that.
Sure, no, I love that was the segue though. I actually disagree with the notion that he has less experience. I don't think he has less, I actually think he has more. He has the most experience in elected office. I know Senator Edwards recently left the race, but Senator Obama has more years in elected office than both Senators Clinton and Edwards. If you want to look at the type of experience, especially after the last 8 years, just keep in mind, Senator Obama was a community organizer. He worked with folks who were laid off by Maytag in Chicago. He worked on the south side of Chicago with folks who were in low-income housing projects. He and Michelle Obama have really been active in humanitarian efforts in Africa. Barack went to law school at Harvard Law. He was incidentally the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. When he graduated, he turned down these $500,000 job offers from corporate firms and became a civil rights lawyer. Michelle Obama talks about this a lot. The Obamas didn't pay off their law school loans until very recently. And it was only because of Barack's book deal that they were able to pay off their student loans. Because you don't make money, if any of you are thinking about law, you know that you don't make money as a civil rights lawyer. Barack was also a constitutional law professor for 10 years. I think especially after the last 8, it would be wonderful to have a president who actually read the Constitution. Not to mention taught it for 10 years. The fact that he gave 150,000 kids and their parents health care in the Illinois State Senate, I mean, the list of accomplishments and achievements is actually quite long. Very good question. How are we going to close the gap between the really rich and powerful 1% and the rest of the country? One of the key points in a lot of the senators' programs are repealing the corporate tax cuts that have taken place under the Bush administration. Corporations don't pay their fair share right now. They've had tons of tax breaks in the past 8 years, and that's at the expense of folks like us. Low-income, middle-class folks, their taxes keep going up. Their opportunities and access to things like education and healthcare keep going down. That needs to be reversed. You need to make sure the corporations are paying their fair share so that we have access to the things that we have access to.
So what do you guys think of Kal and Eric?
Very informative. It was interesting stepping out.
Excuse me. And what about Barack makes you guys want to go out and vote for him? And
oh, he's inspiring, and he makes you know he can make a change.
It's about the change. The whole metaphor with the essay and the poem. It's a good way to put it out. So.
Thanks so much. What did you like about the event?
I liked hearing about the issues and having the Q&A.
And you think you got some good answers?
Yeah.
Guys?
Thanks.
And what about Barack makes you want to go out and vote for him? And
I heard him in the 2004 Democratic election or the Democratic convention, and I thought he was a good speaker then. And at that point, I was like, Obama, wait, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I wish it does. And so now that it actually is happening, I want to vote for him.
So the hope message seems to have worked then.
Yeah.
And what about Barack makes you want to go out and vote for him?
We need someone who's not just charismatic, but has heart too. And I think they talked about that in a way. He's just a tinge different from all the other candidates in a good way. So, good feelings.
I just like that he's definitely a change. I hate to like repeat the word over and over again, but I like that he's different and he's looking to do some really different things for our country. So.
I am here and on video because I love Barack Obama, and so does OSU. So everyone vote for the man. He's got good ideas.
There you go. You go ahead and sign. This is like our volunteer sheet. We'll call you and email you, tell you what to do and everything.
Oh, well, I don't have any freaking time, but sure.
Oh, okay.
I'm in your Facebook group.
You're on the Facebook group?
Yeah.
You get all the messages?
2 minutes, man.
Yeah.
2 minutes if you have it.
Are you registered to vote?
You bet.
Did you sign up to vote absentee?
Already got it.
Nice.
Now that's a responsible voter.
Have a good night.
If you want.